Hey y'all, how are you?
Drnina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
Now, one of the biggest misconceptions is that weight loss has to be super expensive, and it could be overwhelming to think about all the money you spend on unused memberships, food that we don't need, and other things that are just truly not simplifying the process. When I tell you, when I lost over 100 pounds over 20 years ago and kept it off before this journey, I didn't have no money, okay? I wasn't balling. I wasn't even balling on a budget, okay? I was balling on dust. And I was okay though, because I learned all the tricks of the trade that really helped me to lose weight without having to spend a whole lot of money. Some of the most effective weight loss strategies are simple and very affordable. So today I'm excited to share with you my top 10 tips for losing weight on a budget, because I truly believe you do not have to break the bank to get healthy. Wherever we can save a few dollars, we should. The economy is now, this video would not be here without y'all, so I need to hear from you down below. Let us know some of the things that you're doing, and also give me some input for some videos you want to see in the future. And if you're enjoying the content over here, go ahead and subscribe. And I know that God will make a way, but I ain't God, so we're going to get some practical tips over here. And make sure if you're having any health-related issues that you check in with your doctor. Let's get into it. So one of the biggest things is taking a multivitamin. I'm not talking about popping magical pills. You want to make sure that your body has the things that it needs in order to run efficiently. For me, that was vitamin D, B, iron, magnesium, and more. When I had a vitamin D deficiency, y'all, my body went bonkers. My immune system took a nosedive. I found out I had a large pneumonia. I had a very sad and depressive mood and was even having some hair thinning. Researchers even found that obese people that took vitamin D and calcium reduced the amount of belly fat that they had over those that took nothing at all. Yeah, you can get vitamin D through sun and food, eggs, tuna, salmon, cod liver oil, but all of that can still be hard. You'll want to check with your doctor, but I take calcium built in with vitamin D3, and I even have vitamin D3 through Black Girl Vitamins. Vitamins B1 through B12 are essential for a fully functioning metabolism, and that's for metabolizing things like carbs, proteins, and fats. Iron helps create energy from nutrients, which could help muscles burn fat. When there's iron deficient anemia, there's often weakness, low energy, and fatigue. Magnesium is also needed for energy production in the body. It helps to keep bones strong, regulate blood pressure, and blood glucose levels. So now you can see how all these things work together. You need energy and nutrients to your bones and muscles in order to sustain activity as well as your diet. Most usually, I'm still taking prenatals by Smarty Pants. And I've taken prenatal since I was like 17 years old. And y'all can see here that I bought it a bunch of times. It has so much that my body needs. Omega-3 fish oils, DHA, EPA, biotin methylfolate, D3, C, B12, B6, A, K, and zinc. I've really started to take more body measurements and pictures instead of using the scale all the time. Sometimes the scale just gonna piss you off. While it's a benchmark, sometimes you need to see tangibles and not just a number. And when you have no other permanent product to compare it to, you just might give up because the number can be depressing. Noticing how and where your body is changing is a much healthier option than just watching the number on the scale. I measure different parts of my body, like my chest, my hips, my waist, thighs, and I take a full length picture of my body from all sides. About every 4 to 6 weeks, I take another picture so that I can compare. And I ain't saying that the scale don't have no place. Of course, you need to know that you're making some differences and if you need to tweak what you're doing. But seeing pictures does help me to know that change is happening. Some wins are just not reflected on the scale, such as an increase in heavier muscle. Every time I eat, I have proteins with no naked carbs. You don't want your carbs to be caught out here with their clothes off. Let me explain. When we eat proteins like eggs, meats, dairies, nuts, and beans, it takes the body longer to turn that to glucose like simple carbs, like white flour, bread, and pasta. Simple carbs are already a form of sugar. So having protein every time I eat provides me with a steadier blood sugar control. I feel more full and I reduce my sugar cravings. And y'all asked me about my cravings, and they were up and down when I was pregnant, but for the most part, increasing my levels of protein, which was insisted on by my nutritionist. Basically, my body wants for the nutrients that it needs in order to run, as opposed to just wanting to eat things because they're around. This means that I eat less throughout the day, which helps my weight loss goals. If I'm gonna have yams or rice with my dinner, I'm gonna make sure that I also have something like mixed vegetables, broccoli, as well as a nice protein. So that's going to be anything from grilled chicken or turkey tenderloin, salmon, tuna, and anything that's going to give me high protein density in order to keep me full. That way your carbs ain't out there by themselves and your protein helps to assist. A big one for me and a low cost one is fasting intermittently. This is where you go between cycles and periods of fasting and eating. This is something I always come back to and I just recently returned to. When I first lost over 100 pounds, it's one of the biggest things that helped me to lose the weight but also maintain the weight loss. There's a few different ways to do it, including the 5-2 diet, the 16-8 method, and the eat stop eat method. I abide mostly by the 16-8 method, which is where you fast for 16 hours. Usually most of that is you sleeping. And then 8 hours during the day, you choose a window in order to eat. Maybe from 1 to 9 p.m. or from 12 to 8 p.m. But you want to start slow with this and make sure that you have a plan for how you'll ease into it. This method is a sneaky way for me to reduce the amount of calories that I'm having throughout the day because I'm not having to be super calorie restricted because I have 16 hours in which I'm not eating. This not only leads to weight loss, but also has numerous other health benefits. It's not for everyone, but it could work for most. And again, we're going for less expensive, even in terms of time. Sometimes you need a little bit of help to support you in figuring out how to ease into fasting, but you don't have to go at it alone. And that's where Municorn comes in, and they're the sponsor of today's video, the Fasting Tracker app, designed for smarter eating, effortless fasting tracking, and healthier living. It not only helps me to track my fasting periods, but to monitor my progress and to stay motivated. I even get smart notifications for my specified fasting period. There's personalized plans for your lifestyle and your routine. There's also detailed charts and stats to keep up with your progress. There's even an AI wellness coach to answer your questions about fasting anytime. In terms of intermittent fasting and keeping me on track, it's been the best. It's helping me stay accountable and reach my health goals through the app. So I have better weight management, improved metabolic health, more energy, mental clarity, longevity, and even reduced inflammation. So go ahead and download the Fasting Tracker app using the link in my description. Check it out and share your progress on your health goals with me. Make sure that you support our sponsors, y'all, and thanks again to Municorn for sponsoring today's video. Another thing is to use whey protein. Most people just don't get enough protein from their diet alone, as we've already said. And for those that don't, taking a whey protein supplement is a good way to boost your protein. One study showed that replacing part of your calories with whey protein could result in significant weight loss, while also increasing that lean muscle mass. Lean muscle means more fat and calories burned even at rest, even when you're sitting. So that's that 2-for-1 special for real. But make sure that you read those ingredients and nutrition labels because not all whey proteins are created equal. Some are loaded with sugar and other additives. I really like diamondized protein, and when I'm on the go, Premier and Pro-Life, and also muscle milk sometimes. These have little to no sugar and additives, and the carbs are even low as well. I started winning when I started simplifying my food. Some of us be doing way too much with our food and we know it. We be eating half the bottle of dressing with a little bit of side of lettuce. Gotta have the rice with the gravy, pancakes with extra syrup and toppings, and every condiment possible on anything you eat. With food, we need to kiss. Keep it super simple or keep it simple stupid. I try to stick with more whole foods because they nourish you and keep you more satisfied. Here are a few of my rules that keep me on track. I use up what we have at home. I only buy what I really need. I plan for what my meals might look like for a month, and I plan for meal prep. That might even include the days that I'm going to allow off or go to a restaurant or be hanging out or meet up for food or something. I need to know in advance. I avoid anything with a super crazy list for a recipe, except for on special occasions. I cut back on the processed foods and I use leftovers. By increasing the whole foods, I naturally got rid of a lot of the added sugars, added fat, and highly processed foods. Something that's underestimated is burning calories doing everyday stuff. Energy expended during typical daily activities like walking, standing, or even fidgeting can help you lose weight. A calorie burned is just a calorie burned. This type of movement helps you to burn several hundred calories above your baseline or what you're expected to burn in a day. The goal for me is to get, again, a 2-for-1 special. I want to boost my movement during times I might normally be sitting down to work, when I'm watching TV, or rolling my thumbs across my phone. So I like to make it a little cute challenge. I have a standing desk so that I'm not always sitting while I'm working. I take the stairs instead of the escalator when they're right next to each other. I also recently made it a choice to build in more walks in my day. So now I have a walking pad so that I can make sure that I increase to over 10,000 steps a day. That's including my workouts as well. It doesn't eliminate my regular workouts, but it does increase what I might intentionally do. Having a Fitbit, Apple Watch, or step counter can also help in this, and it will make you super competitive, especially if you have other people with eyes on that or that you're competing with, which I do on my Apple Watch with some of my family members and friends so they can see and push me as well. Y'all, it has been the best thing. So just figure out things that you can do throughout your day, whether it's cleaning your home, taking extra walks, moving around just a bit, or not just sitting in your seat all the time. This extra movement is going to add to your weight loss goals. Brushing and flossing after I eat has taken me to the next level. I've had to train myself, okay? This one is a sneaky habit that I use. If I brush my teeth after a meal, what I found is that it reduces my appetite a bit. I associate having clean teeth with wanting to keep them clean and wanting to keep them cleaner longer. So I'm less likely to go run and have something to eat right after brushing my teeth. And brushing also removes food particles from our teeth so that we're not sitting around with food taste in our mouths. This also could mentally help you snack less because you're not looking forward to the taste of toothpaste with your favorite snack. And it works now as a psychological signal. I told y'all I had to train myself. Brushing and flossing acts as a mental cue that meals are finished for me. So I know I've definitely used this at my last meal at night because it's going to keep me from sitting up and snacking all night or eating something even more. Now, I know some of y'all might say that ain't going to work for you. It might not work the first time, but if you do it several times, which it takes about 17 times for something to become a habit, give yourself the chance and you might find out you don't like your food with a side of toothpaste. It's not going to taste good to you. It's also going to signal to you that it's time to keep your teeth clean. And also, you're going to be lazy. If you know you have to brush your teeth before you go to bed and you've already done it, you're going to be mad at yourself for having to brush it again just because you wanted a few morsels of something or a snack. Y'all, I'm telling you, it works. I've also found that planning ahead has been the best thing for me. Now, this is not just related to meal prep. Yes, with meal prep, you have to plan out your meals, think about what you're going to have, and also maybe your grocery list and other things. But also, I'm talking about planning when you go out. What are you going to take? Are you going to take a lunch with you? Are you going to stop somewhere and have something to eat? Before I go out somewhere, I like to look at the menu. And if I'm going to a party or an outing, sometimes I eat well before. That way, I'm not enticed by the food that's around me. And especially if it was nutrient-dense foods that I ate, I've already been satisfied. So I might have a little bit of an appetizer or something small, but I'm certainly not going to be going everywhere having large entrees. And when I do opt to go places with people, sometimes I make it a point not to just go to eating places, suggest other things. What I noticed a lot of times in a lot of friendships and family relationships, we love to celebrate with food, but sometimes you can go other places. Go to the park, go for a walk, go out on the green, do something different. So then that way you're not feeling like every time you get together, you have to associate that with food. Yes, it's nice. And I know the holidays are coming up, but sometimes doing something different and kind of turning a different direction gives you different options. And it also helps you feel like you don't always have to be eating in order to enjoy yourself. Now, this one is a small one and it's often overlooked, but drinking 2 cups, 2 8-ounce cups of water 30 minutes before you eat. Now, what this does is it helps me to have less calories when it's time for me to eat. What I find is it's not just about feeling fuller, but it's also about making sure I'm not just dehydrated because sometimes I misread my body, okay? Yes, I know my body, but this is a new body now postpartum. I'm learning that my needs have changed, the things that I'm looking for have changed. And sometimes what I'm trying to fill with food I need to fill with water. If I'm dehydrated, then my body can pick up with itself, figure that out before it's time to eat. And now that I've been rehydrated, I don't have to worry so much about overeating. Also, it helps me to tailor how much I eat when I eat. Yes, you do feel a bit fuller, but not overly full. 16 ounces to me is just that perfect sweet spot in order to make sure that you're not dehydrated, not overdoing it. I'm not going to have a gallon before I have dinner, but I may have more water breaks throughout the day and make sure that specifically before those meals, I'm having about 16 ounces. It really does ensure you're truly hungry and not just thirsty. Y'all, that's all for today, and I hope you have found this video beneficial. It's not about just being broke. It's about us being smart. In today's economy, it's just not wise to be spending everything you got on anything, okay? And so we're going to make sure that we're still effective while keeping a few coins in our pocket, whether we broke or not, all right? Make sure that you comment, share this video with someone who can use it, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Beautiful brown baby doll. Peace.